The algorithm that runs, it predicts what is the weather today, how the busy is, how many riders we have on the road. All is decided by the algorithm. And then if it is, at this point, if we have enough riders, then the delivery time will still stay between 30 to 35 minutes. And then if not, then it might move to 37, 40. But that's the window with which we work, right? Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had the coffee. I'm checking out. Is anyone sleeping? So because I need to ask you a question. And the question is, and please raise your hands, please do participate, I need that for my morale. Who of you has heard about Wolt? That still hurts. There's a lot of people, there's still some people who have not. That does hurt, right? So I think that I really would like this to be more of a discussion rather than monologue, me talking, but looking at the percentage of people who have not raised their hands, I still feel like I need to do some work explaining what Wolt is all about, actually. So let's jump into that quickly. So those of you who have heard about us probably have heard about us as a food delivery company, right? So meaning that you can go online, order your favorite pizza, burger, you name it, from a restaurant either nearby or your favorite restaurant somewhere further away, right? That is how Wolt was born in 2015 in Helsinki, right? And now we are actually active in 29 countries, 25 of which operate under Wolt brand. In 2021, Wolt joined forces with DoorDash. I believe this was a part of discussions a day ago here. And DoorDash is a leading US food delivery company. So now we're actually present in more than 500 cities from Iceland to Japan. And we have more than 10,000 people working with us, which is a fantastic team across the world. But why we are here, right? Food delivery, all good, but what are we doing here? Actually, for the last 2 years, we have been expanding way beyond just food, way beyond pizzas, way beyond burgers, right? We have started, we like to think about this as that we're building the equivalent of a shopping mall, right? But just online. When you think about the brick and mortar shopping malls, that's where the building is the infrastructure. For us, the infrastructure is the application. For us, the infrastructure is our delivery network, right? So what we've started to do is to build our mall from a food court, if you think about that, right? And now when you think about the mall, again, like on the ground floor, you have grocery stores, and in between you have the myriad of great retailers. That's what we stepped into approximately 2 years ago, is basically inviting grocery stores and all other potential retailers to join our shopping mall. Currently, in Germany, we're already working with, to name a few, with Blume 2000, Fresna, Penny, and many more, and hopefully with many more of you very soon. But our goal is basically to enable brick-and-mortar retailers to do what they do best and to give them basically the technology and the storefront into this new way of consumption, which is moving at such a fast pace. So when I speak about this mall and the whole infrastructure that we build, the virtual mall, I speak about the product that we call a marketplace, right? So marketplace is a place where you can plug in your store or any of your products, basically, and just start getting the full cycle service from us taking care of consumer placing an order, which is different from a regular shopping mall where you need to have still shop assistant or cashier, right? So we do that for you. We also take care of bringing that customer there, serving them, doing everything that needs to be done on the way, and then, if needed, also refunding that. So that's a marketplace solution. And then we also have a Drive, which is a very interesting service that, when you think about it, a lot of you might also have your own e-commerce solution already, right? But what we provide here is on-demand delivery. We basically take an item from you and drive it to your consumer. That's the tool that we provide to anyone who's willing to use that. Of course, as the DM here, I prefer when you use both solutions, But whenever when you have to choose, we are here to help you to use both. And I think that should be enough for me to explain what Wolt is all about, and I would rather have a little discussion right now. Thank you.
Oksana, I'm super sorry. It just slipped my memory.
It's
okay.
great.
We had already the opportunity to have a little chat at our speakers dinner, and I think what especially Jochen was pointing out for years was that even your mother company now, you actually what you describe is that you're building a last mile delivery infrastructure, and if you combine this, it's like everything from your neighborhood, I think.
Yes,
right?
That is true. That's true. So DoorDash has always worked with the neighborhood concept and bringing you the best of your neighborhood to you, and I think that's very beautiful because Wolt has a very similar vision, and the whole collaboration between the two is bringing things together. So thinking about what Wolt is trying to do is exactly that. If you think of a shopping mall, right? Shopping mall is usually located somewhere, and you don't go through all the city towards like a different side of the city to actually get something you want.
Yeah.
We want this to be in half an hour. We want this to be in proximity for you so that you feel exactly that. And that's why we work with not just very large brands, but we also work with the little butcher that is from the nearby, from the corner. So that you have this feeling still that when you enter our app, it is very local. Locality is something that we really pay a lot of attention to.
Yeah, and does it take like a lot of effort to like educate your customers to just go away from just meal delivery, just to actually do all the shopping, or like, because that's like, you know, you have to change the perception of your product, of your app, right?
It's very true. I think that what is interesting is that what we try to do at Wolt is that we try to listen to what the customer wants. So it all moves from what the customer is asking. It's very interesting to, for example, that the second most asked item or thing was groceries. When are you going to start delivering groceries? When are you going to start delivering groceries? So in the end, there's no other way for us but to do that. Of course, that means that some consumers who were only thinking of us as food, they would still need to learn about that. But all things we do actually come from consumer asking for that. So in that sense, it's actually really easy for us to kickstart that. And then, of course, again, going back to the analogy of the mall, it's all about the companies that will be there to offer their services. If we manage to bring great stores into that mall, people will be interested to shop there. So that's how we operate.
Yeah, but when I look at it now, this really increases then also complexity from the operational side, right? Because like when I order usually via your app, and I have one pickup point for my pizza. And then I thought yesterday I learned like Double Dash. Okay, and then I get the wine merchant, and I get the Chianti. But I mean, when I add like Fressnapf, for instance, like dog food, and I add some grocery shopping, then I mean, for you guys, this is a hell of a lot of different, maneuvering with the whole processes.
It is, and it's beautiful because, there's a lot of times when we think, okay, is it too complex? But then we go back to kind of, the business was founded in Helsinki, right? Where it's super cold. Like super cold. People live like 10 kilometers away from each other. The cities are like very small. The famous Nokia city, which you probably know from the Nokia phone, is 30,000. We're also doing business there, right? So I don't think we're ever been afraid of something that is complex. What is important is not how you do it, but what you do, right? And in the end, what we're doing, we're making it happen. It is complex. We have 1,000 people in Germany, half of them is engineers, right? So, but this is our job to make the technology work. And that's why I'm so insisting, saying that everyone needs potentially to do what they do best, where they can invest most of their time and effort, and we're investing a lot in that technology. So that's why we believe that it's doable.
Yeah, and how do you manage then the expectation? Like if I say like, okay, I want my pizza now and my groceries, so like is that like, because obviously I have not been using this kind of service from you guys, so it's like how do you combine it then? Is like do you expand the window of delivery or you split it up?
What happens is that the algorithm that runs on the background, it actually learns from the previous experiences, but also what is not necessarily, it predicts what is the weather today, how the busy is, how many riders we have on the road, and that all works. And if you ask me like how to write a code, how it works, I don't know, I have to admit, but that's decided. All is decided by the algorithm. And then if it is at this point, if we have enough riders, then the delivery time will still stay between 30 to 35 minutes, and then if not, then it might move to 37, 40. But that's the window with which we work, right? We're not aiming to bring you your Chianti in 7 minutes. That's not what we're doing, absolutely. But we're aiming to build this 30-minute expectation that we walk around, like 5 minutes more, 5 minutes less.
Mm-hmm. And when you look at the merchants, is there like when and restaurants usually, then you wait before you get your seat at the table, you see like riders queuing up, picking up the food. Is that the same? Like, is there like when I work with Fressnapf, do you have like a proprietary access, or how does it work with the merchant?
It very much depends on the merchant, right? So a lot of times it depends also on the size of a merchant. Larger merchants have their own processes in the store. They don't want to be disturbed. And that's why we adhere to what they do. What they tell us, we negotiate. They say, okay, this is where you have to pick it up. This is where we will give it to you, right? They usually use their own pickers. Pickers pick this up, and then they hand it over to the courier when they come in. Ideally, not in the same place where you shop as a consumer who walks in, right? But in the smaller stores, like, again, the notorious butcher around the corner, it might be that you just go exactly the same as in the restaurant. So it really depends on who you work with and what merchant actually wants, how they want to do it. We don't tell you what to do. Like, you tell us how you want this to happen, and that's where we try to advise maybe what would be more efficient, but only that.
Yeah, so it has finally arrived, the new DHL, I think. I don't know if it looks like the, but is that the way you see yourself? Because you cover where I mean, like all the big parcel delivery companies, in my opinion, failed to set up something really thinking consequently from the consumer side.
I don't prefer to compare.
I know. Okay, next evolution. We have S-curves, I know. So this is like the next S-curve, is it?
It's a little bit like S-curve. So think of it that way. The e-commerce goes in, like, before it was like, okay, you needed to wait like a month for something to get. Then the next one was, okay, you can get it next week. Still, there are some companies who do that. We respect that still. I love that. Then there are some companies that said, okay, you get it same day. And then we're just saying that, no, you're going to get it in 30 to 35 minutes. There was an attempt in the market to push it to 7, 10 minutes, but I think German market is not there yet infrastructurally, and also like all the logistics is a very complex thing. So we kind of go in that direction. And it's not that we're trying to replace something. What I truly believe is that also this evolution happens to the people, right? The younger generation shops differently. Yeah. Every new generation shops differently, and that's how far you can push that, and that's what we do. Like now the brick and mortar retailer population is getting older and older. Those people who want to walk in the store, it's just the traditional kind of art. And then the people who are going to shop in 10 years are not going there anywhere. When were you last time in the supermarket?
When I can avoid it, I don't go. But I mean, sometimes I have to go. Yeah. Yes, yeah, totally. I mean, like, when I look at it, it's always like, I know that's hashtag, just check your privileges. And I think, like, most of the people, mostly also politicians who don't travel much, they say, like, this is the model which has to be applied in the world. So you're not from Germany, you travel the world, you've seen lots of places, and people shop differently, right? In Dubai, you get everything from Kareem. In New York, nobody is going to the grocery store. Everything gets delivered to the doorstep. So it's like, it's what kind of taste you're looking at, what kind of habits have established themselves, right?
It's very good. It's a very good question, because that's what we were discussing just yesterday, that every market has their own stage, and every market has their own culture. If you think at Latin America, if you think about Greece, Turkey, those people and those countries were already doing 30-minute delivery 5 years, 10 years ago. It does not mean that needs to be happening here. You also need to listen to your customer. That's what we do. We literally kind of look at what our consumer wants and what time is a good time window, right? We don't want to push it to the place where people just don't need it. And that's why, like, when you think about what needs to be delivered, it's exactly also what we need to do. Today, we know that the groceries is what people want because they don't want to be on a Saturday evening in that literally very long queue, because I actually, before coming here, I went to do research and went to my nearby store, and that was the case. Like, you have to queue. It takes like 10 minutes to queue. I could have checked out already and just doing my margaritas. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we had I think we had Lieferando here a couple of years ago. I think 2018 I was. And we were posing the same questions. Why don't you guys move into grocery? Why don't you open up your infrastructure? And they say like, no, it's not our business case. And I was like, why are you not providing this? Because this was a missing segment in the market, right? And like, I don't know. And it's all about. I mean, I think Hannes was saying like, why don't we really listen to the consumers and make shopping fun again? And I think that's what you cry.
It's easy. Like, I think the self-fulfilling prophecy is the scene that we all like have, right? So that's not necessarily that we also hear all the signals as Wolt that are coming from our consumers right now. And even if we do, sometimes it's just a matter of resource and your technology that you can know how you start with. And because Wolt like initially started, yes, as food delivery, but it has always been in mind, the shopping mall thing. There's always the technology was built towards that. And that is why it's potentially easier for us now to explore those opportunities. But then again, like if you ask me like how fast I will be doing medicine, maybe like I will deprioritize it a little bit towards making sure that groceries are being delivered, because I find this is a bigger opportunity. So I think it's about also like trying to combine what the consumer wants and what you can actually do with your existing infrastructure.
Yeah, and I'd like to make for the last minute, like circle back to your mother company. I mean, DoorDash also started in Germany, I think somewhere in Stuttgart, right?
Yes.
And they pulled back, like at least the brand for like Europe, right, or Germany. I don't know. I was just...
So not exactly. So I actually started as DoorDash in January, and then by, if I'm not mistaken, by July, the deal with Wolt was closed. Yeah. So it was not closing anything. It was just basically integrating into Wolt. Because Wolt, by that point, DoorDash was in Stuttgart only. And that was also chosen. It's very interesting how two companies work together in that. Stuttgart is a very tough place from a delivery point of view, because there's lots of kind of areas, they're not connected to each other. So as you said before, if we could make it there, we could make it anywhere. That's why DoorDash launched there, to make sure, okay, we can make it here, we'll do it anywhere. And then, obviously, it was an obvious decision to not invest in DoorDash brand at this point here, but rather, after joining forces with Wolt, to do that, because Wolt is already, you have seen, like, it's half of the people here do know about the company, so why reinvent something? So that's why we just joined two companies and continued to operate. So I took over Wolt, and then we continued to operate like that.
Okay. Now, how close is the like integration from a strategic point of view? You get impulses, or you get like told how to run operations here, or how you benefit from each other, or is it there is a clear path to like migrate everything?
Yeah. So what DoorDash and Wolt both believe is the local knows best. So Germany is a very different market. You cannot decide sitting in anywhere else in the world what's happening in Germany, because you need to know how to deal that you cannot deliver mail in Germany, for example. You need to know those things, right? So DoorDash provides you with a lot of beautiful market insights, like amazing things that you would never test yourself. Helsinki helps you with technology, with also the know-how of doing it in the smaller parts of the cities. There's a lot of consulting that is going on, but in the end, we decide here what to do and how to do that.
Okay. Xana, it has been a really great pleasure for me to have you here on stage. And like, as you can see, we are big fans of what you're accomplishing and what you're trying to build. And I think this is a really missing piece in the market.
Thank you so much. Thank you.